Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Me and the Road, my series about my escapades and my experiences and my journeys on being a touring musician and a studio musician over the years. For all of you who've made wonderful comments, thank you. And I'm glad you're enjoying this series. It's fun for me to do. If you're visiting this on YouTube, which I believe you would be, please like it. And please subscribe, and you'll get further notifications whenever I post a new video and a new episode. And please share it, by all means, on Facebook, social medias, wherever you want. This is my story of meeting a couple presidents. My first story is meeting President Bill Clinton. This was in 1998, and it was unbelievably just after the Monica Lewinsky scandal, where Clinton finally admitted that he was lying and he did have an affair with Monica Lewinsky. So that was a strange time. But Michael McDonald asked me to do a show with him, and it was a benefit for the Democratic. It was a Democratic fundraiser in Southern California, and it was at the Saban residence. Saban is a huge movie production company, and they were throwing a fundraiser, of all these Hollywood and elite movie stars, celebrities, whatever. People with money. And Bill Clinton was going to be the featured guest. Again, this was just after the Monica Lewinsky confession. So it was kind of a strange vibe. But anyway, it was just me and Mike. Mike was playing keyboard and I was playing guitar. No drums, no band. And we were set to do a couple songs, maybe even just one song. I think we did Take It to the Streets. And shh, Dandy. Sorry, dog's freaking out. We were set to do Take It to the Streets, and it was one of these things where it was outdoors at the Saban residence, like in a party tent, and all the people were seated, and Mike and I took the stage, and we played. I can't remember if we played first, but at one point, I think Clinton came in first. That's what it was. And I remember Mike was seated at a table with his wife, Amy, and myself and Jeff Rasmussen, who mixed us that day, we were over to the side waiting to take the stage. So we were kind of like over with the hired help. The waiters, the servants, whatever, we were kind of like over to the side, which was understandable. And all of a sudden, Hail to the Chief comes over the PA system. And sure enough, in walks Bill Clinton. And you could kind of cut the air with a knife in there because of the times that it was, the Lewinsky scandal and all that. But anyway, in walks President Clinton, and the first thing he does is he walks over to us, the hired help, and shakes all our hands. It was almost like, these guys will love me. I don't know. That's kind of what it felt like, but it was very genuine, and he came over and he shook mine and Raz's hands and all the servants, and it was very cool. And then he walked over and took the podium there and made a short speech, fairly short speech, not too short, but, and I'll never forget looking at him and hearing him speak. It was unbelievably presidential. Say whatever you want about Clinton, but the guy had charisma for days. It was an extraordinary experience to watch him speak. Anyway, then he went and took his seat. A little time went by, and before I get to the concert part, I had to go to the restroom before our show, so I asked somebody where it was, and I kind of made my way through a couple little obstacles. And okay, I'm going to continue the story in a minute. My wife's home, and it's time for our walk, so be right back. Okay, I'm back after a short break with my wife on a walk. We take noon walks. Anyway, I think I left off of me needing to go use the restroom before our show at this event. So I made my way through these obstacles, and it was weird. All of a sudden, there was the presidential limousine with the seal on the side. I was kind of shocked that I was up kind of walking around. I'm sure I was being watched, but I didn't notice anybody watching me, which is probably why they're so good at what they do. But that was pretty surreal, seeing the limousine there just kind of parked on the side there behind the tent. Anyway, we made our way back into I made my way back into the tent where the event was going on, and it was time for us to come up and play. So Mike came up, and we did Taking to the Streets, just the two of us. And I was kind of nervous, and I know Mike was too, because when it came to the solo, which I was going to play, which was normally the sax solo, I was going to play guitar solo there. Mike just completely skipped by it. And later when I asked him about it, he had no recollection of it, but no big deal. But we got through the tune, did a pretty good job, got a good response. And I could see Clinton sitting at a table. He was with Gray Davies, the governor of California at the time, who I remember meeting, wasn't the friendliest human being I've ever met. And I think he was later voted out, if I'm not mistaken, and replaced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that's how it all went down. Judging from that guy's character, I'm not surprised. But anyway, like I said, we did Taking to the Streets, good response. Then I was just Mike went back to his table, and they were, going on with the party. And suddenly I got this urge, like I was playing my black Stratocaster at the time, and I thought, God, I said to Raz, our sound man, wouldn't it be cool to get them signed the guitar? And he goes, yeah, let's do it. And the party had kind of progressed, and people were just kind of standing around talking and socializing. And I was kind of like, should I do it? Should I go up and ask him? And Raz is all, do it. And somehow I just got the nerve, and I made a beeline for President Clinton. And his back was to me, and he was talking to an actress named Mimi Rogers. If you don't know who she is, she's been in a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think specifically what she was in. But she was once married to Tom Cruise a long time ago. Anyway, she spotted me making a beeline for President Clinton, and she could see me heading, and she was like, what the heck is this guy doing? Anyway, so I walked up, and Clinton turned around, and he looked at me and said, oh man, you guys were so great. Man, I really enjoyed that. I was hoping you'd play more. And it just couldn't have been friendlier and more responsive. And I said, oh, thanks. I said, I was wondering if it'd be in position if you would sign my guitar. And he goes, oh, absolutely. So we had a Sharpie ready, and he signed the pick guard, which I'll superimpose up there. But yeah, it was unbelievable. And we talked for a few more seconds, not much, but he just thanked us and said how great it was. And that was that. Needless to say, I was on cloud nine for hours. It was like I just met a president. It was just surreal. Okay, so side note to that story, I don't know if it was when we were coming back from that gig. It may have well been Mike and I were flying back from Los Angeles back to Nashville, where we both lived. I still live here. And Mike's ride got messed up, so I said, well, I'll give you a ride home. So we made our way to the parking structure where my car was, my SUV was parked. And As we're walking towards my car, all of a sudden we hear this voice, and it's all, Michael, hey, Michael. And we're like, what? And we look over, and there's this guy, and he's walking towards us. And who is it? Roger Clinton. Bill Clinton's younger brother, I believe he is. And we were just like, what are the chances of this? So he walks over to us, and he tells us that he just got back from a golfing tournament somewhere, and he was either the golf tournament was here or one or the other. We were going home. I think he was maybe getting a plane back to where he was going to. And the funniest thing was mind you, this is all after the Monica Lewinsky thing, and I think Mike said, "Yeah, we just did a thing with your brother, and went great." And there was a lull in the conversation, and Mike goes, "So, how's the family?" I almost did a spit take at that point because family wasn't doing so good at that point. But Mike was being polite, making conversation, which I just thought that was hilarious myself. And later, Mike goes, "Did I really just say that?" So that was funny. And then one more thing in this Hail to the Chief episode was years later, in 2008, Mike asked me to do another one of these Democratic fundraisers. And this one was in 2008, and it was when Obama was running against Senator John McCain. And this night was in October, I believe. It was the last national debate that was held here in Nashville before the national election, which of course Obama went on to win. But we were asked to play at an after party for the debate, and the Obamas were supposed to make an appearance there. And it was at Senator Al Gore's house. I don't know if him and his wife had separated yet. I don't really remember seeing her there, but she may have been there. What was his wife's name? Oh my God. I can't remember Al Gore's wife's name. That's terrible. Anyway, she's the one who put all the regulations on warnings on songs and stuff. God, why can't I think of her name? Oh God, it's horrible. I know you know what it is. But anyway, I don't remember if she was there anyway. But anyway, so we're hanging out, we're setting up our gear, and Al Gore was really nice to us, and we were right in his sort of kind of a patio area in the middle of this house that he had in Belle Meade in Nashville, which is a very kind of old money area of Nashville. A lot of big manors and stuff, and Al Gore's was certainly one of those. Very, very cool place though. So we were setting up our gear, and it was going to be me, Mike, and Drea Renee was going to sing. No band again, just the three of us. I think we did like a Motown song or two, and maybe Taken to the Streets, Keep Forgetting. Not a very short set. Anyway, we were waiting and Obamas weren't there. And then we were playing music, and all of a sudden, after our songs came up, after we finished our songs, the Obamas entered the room. And again, most of my friends know that I lean Democratic, but the charisma that came off those two people, it was just radiant. It was unbelievable. I mean, I don't care what your political leanings are. These people were just awesome people. And they stepped up on the stage, and we kind of stepped back a little bit. It's a very small little stage, very small. It barely fit me, Mike, and Drea. And so here's Barack and Michelle Obama standing right in front of us, and they turned around, and I'll never forget it. Michelle Obama was right in front of me. She turned around, just grabbed my hands, and just embraced me with the warmest handshake, both hands, smile, just loving vibe. It was unreal. And I remember she was wearing a beautiful red dress, just unbelievably beautiful. And then Barack Obama did the same thing. He turned around, shook all three of her hands, very personable, looked you right in the eye. And that was that. So they got off the stage and they were making their way back, and there was like a little walkway right next to me on my side of the stage. And I'm not sure where Michelle went, but Mr. Obama walked right by me and he looked up at me, and I just looked at him and said, man, I'm really pulling for you. God bless you, and thank you for serving our country, and I best your luck. And he shook my hands again and said thank you. I mean, I know these guys are politicians, but it was something way beyond that. I'm sorry. It was just, it was, to me, it was kind of magic. Anyway, I remember that night telling Mike, and I think I gave him a ride home again that night. But I said, Mike, I'm sorry, but that's our next president. And he said, you really think so? I don't know. And I remember calling Mike on the night of the night that Barack won the election. We were on the phone as he was making a speech in Chicago, and I said, Mike, I told you. And he's like, I can't believe it, you know. So I hope I haven't offended anybody on the other side of the party, but it was just truly a special time for me meeting the Obamas and Clinton. Anyway, I did meet Laura Bush and Colin Powell one time at the White House. That'll be another story. But that's it for now. Again, please, if you're on YouTube, please like this. Please subscribe to it for future airings. And please share it. I know people think these are kind of fun. I have fun doing them. I hope you enjoy them. Anyway, it's another episode of Me and the Road. Peace out. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.
Just me and